Welcome to Essential Ingredients, powered by Next Gen Purpose. EI serves up thoughtful conversations with industry leaders and pioneers who support a regenerative future for our food system. The stories shared by our guests are meant to spark curiosity and inspire informed global change. Good afternoon and welcome to Essential Ingredients. I'm your host, Justine Reichman. Today with me is David Israel from GoodPLANeT Foods. He is the CEO and founder, and I'm so pleased to have you here.
I'm super excited to be here. It's great to meet you.
Likewise. I got your box and I was overwhelmed. It was enormous.
Yeah.
You have so many different better than cheeses.
Yeah, better than cheese, yeah.
Better than cheeses. And it's just so many different ideas came to my head about how to eat them, how to include them in different recipes. And I would just, for those that are not familiar with GoodPLANeT Foods, I'd love for you to just share a little bit about, who you are and what inspired you to create GoodPLANeT Foods.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'll try to make it really quick and easy.
Well, let's just start with David. Tell me, what inspired you to come up with GoodPLANeT Foods?
So I sold my snack company that I started in 2011. And when I started that company, it was really started with indulgent snacks. But by the time I got to 2016, I was really trending towards the better for you products. And so I was launching popcorns that were very clean, that were healthy, that were organic. So I was really leaning into the better for you products. So when I sold it, I really wanted to continue in the better for you space. I didn't just want to be anywhere in food. I really wanted to be in better for you.
Okay, just to digress for a second, you had a snack company.
Mm-hmm.
When you launched this snack company, I know you said you sold it in early 2000s, right?
No, in 2016, late 2016.
2016. Okay.
Yep.
So, but when you originally kicked off the company, was it a better for you snack company?
No, we launched it in 2011 with a very indulgent product. Chocolate salted caramel popcorn, white truffle, which really wasn't bad for you. But white truffle. We did some mix-ins with candies and stuff like that, and then it grew into potato chips and condiments, but nothing that was. We got into very high quality. I mean, that was always our mantra, was to have the highest quality. But again, as I got towards 2015 and 2016, I was really pushing into launching products that were better for you, that were cleaner, organic.
And why better for you? Why organic? Why was this important to you?
I just felt that I wanted to put something out there that I felt good about for the consumer. I mean, look, we all want a treat here and there, but I wanted high quality products that attracted people because, one, yes, they were quality, but two, yes, they were better for you than like cruddy snacks, right? I really wanted quality, better for you products so people could feel good about it when they ate. The calories were lower, the ingredient deck was short. We sourced the greatest products that were hopefully as much organic as we could. It was hard to be 100% organic without giving up a lot of the flavors and stuff. So we just that's where I was trending. So when you
say you were trending there, was your audience trending there?
Pardon me?
Did you find that that's what your audience and your
consumer? I don't know what, I was just driven internally, to like
consumers weren't asking for this.
No, I just really wanted to put out a better product. I mean, a quality, better for you product. I mean, something they would feel good about and I could feel good about. So again, I mean, like I said, we still had offerings with the indulgent products, but as I was launching new products, almost all the new products were better for you.
And how did your consumer respond to this?
We really started growing even faster with those products. Then there was a bigger base for that. There was a bigger need, there was a bigger want, especially high quality, great tasting products. So again, I mean, I saw the traction it was getting, and like I said, I felt really good about it, and I knew that the consumer felt good about what they were putting into their mouth and going into their bodies, and that's just really. It was where my mind was going, which led me in like the pathway into where we are today.
So you had the snack company and you sold it, I believe you said?
Yeah, sold the majority to a group out of New York in late 2016. In early 2017, I stepped aside and wanted to go find something, like I said, strictly better for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, I was looking at all these different categories, not vegan. That didn't drive me. But someone suggested that I look at the vegan cheese category. And in 2017, there wasn't a lot of choices when you looked at shreds and slices for quality, good ingredient products that really performed well. So the biggest complaint I heard was meltability. And when I bought the two leading brands, yeah, this was the melt that I got. It was just, it didn't do much. I mean, it bubbled and it tasted terrible and it didn't melt. And as I did my research, I found that there was a dairy process where they use powders and dairy powders and oils to make cheese. It's called analog. And it just was like, why can't we use plant-based materials to go through the same process and create a good product? And I researched a lot and I found, I can't tell you how many companies make it in the US, there's a lot. And the nucleus is all in Wisconsin. And I probably called or emailed 10 to 15 companies. Majority said no because they didn't want to be involved with a plant-based company. And others said no because they didn't want to work with a startup. I was not big enough for to scale to, the size that they did. So I ended up finding a company on the island of Crete, Greece, that did this process, that was open to working with me. They actually said no first, but I convinced them to meet with me. I flew back. We became instant friends. I mean, it's like family now. But I launched with them. We created the products. I learned about the category. I learned that the next gen consumer in vegan was the people that were wanting to do better for themselves and for the planet. So, which is how I came up with the name Good Planet. And they really were focused on plant-based. So went back, had the brand, created the base products, the first 4 flavors that we were to launch in the US. And we were off to the races by May of 2018. And it just really took off from there pretty quickly. 2019 was a monster for us. I mean, we had a hard time managing and keeping up, and and producing was fine, but logistically from Greece,
Right.
I can order tomorrow and they can make it in 2 days, but it's not going to be here for 6 to 8 weeks. So figuring all those things out really took a little bit of effort. But bottom line is that when we launched, our meltability was heads and shoulders above everybody else. The ingredient deck was much shorter and much cleaner. And that was the first iteration of what we did.
So I'm curious, so you're still doing this in Greece? Do you have any plans to?
I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
That's the best part. By third quarter 2019, all those guys that didn't want to talk to me started calling me up. So
Okay.
like, oh, sorry, if we were rude to you, if we made a mistake.
Right.
But they recognized, I mean, by that time, plant-based was getting an enormous amount of buzz. They realized, I think dairy was starting to slip a bit, and there's a lot of trending towards plant-based, period. So they wanted to get on board. I mean, they saw what they needed to do, and they started reaching out. And you know what? I mean, initially, when I got the first email, I didn't want to. It wasn't a kind response that I first popped into my head.
Right.
But I was like, okay, you know what? I mean, I get it. I mean, things happen. They're reaching out. Let's see what we can do. So we now manufacture with specialty companies in Wisconsin, 4 or 5 different ones that are masters in what they do, whether it be cream cheese or sour cream, or like the wedges or the smoked wheels or the block that we need to do for our shreds and slices. That's what we do for the US and North America. From Greece, we're doing almost everything in Europe and international.
Well, I was going to say, with your name being Good Planet Foods, the ability to be able to source locally right? And to have plants locally really does support your mission also, or
Yeah,
support the right?
yeah, for sure. It's
You know,
about, yeah, we're really about sustainability and the good for the planet, good for people. Um, but at the end of the day, we want to give the best experience we possibly can to our consumer, and we want to live behind what we're saying we're doing, and we do. I mean, again, part of our role isn't to convert people to be vegan, and we of course we want to provide great products for whatever your choice is. But we want people, if there's balance, I mean, the less barrier, right? I mean, the lower the bar that I make. So if I'm up here trying to convert everybody to being vegan, I'm not going to get a lot of people to try our product. And I learned that. You can tell me if I get off track for you here, but I was at our first trade show. People would walk by and I would say, "Do you want to try some vegan cheese?" "No, I'm not vegan. Never mind." I'm like, "Wow, okay. Hey, would you like to try some dairy-free cheese?" "Oh, dairy-free? Yeah, I'll try that." Okay. Or I don't care if it's dairy-free. When I said plant-based, oh, I'll give that a try. It just more and more people were willing to come in, and that's great for everybody. Whatever drives you, whether you're vegan or you're dairy-free or you have allergens, I'm opening the doors. I want it to be open to everybody, be a comfortable place, and we want to give you the best cheese experience we possibly can.
In any event, I was just commenting really on the better than cheese tagline you have, because I really appreciate that, because I always find it frustrating when people call it something and I'm like, but it's not that. Why can't we just create something new?
Yeah, I think
Let me
that's
ask, I'm sorry, go on.
no, that's what it's all about. Again, I think it's balance and inclusion, right? So if I'm trying to yank you all the way over and get you to stop eating cheese, that's gonna be quite a task. But if I can get people to find balance in their whatever, they can make choices, right? And they can do things that are better for them, they can do things that are better for the planet, and we all win. And we can create products that make that easy to do, because you get the same cheese experience to the best of our ability with the tools we have to work with today. But I'll tell you, our pizzas, our Parmesan on a salad, I mean, it's our smoked wheels. People don't even, we'll be at shows and people are like, "Is that really plant-based?" And they're thinking we're messing with them, but it really is. And I think we're getting better. It's an evolution.
Is it the consistency you're finding it resonates with, or is it the taste? Is it both? What are you finding is most, what are people most connecting with that is what people are missing and wanting?
Yeah, well, originally, like I said, it was the meltability, yeah, and the flavor, right? But now, because it's really grown, I mean, like I said, our smoked wheels, I think they melt okay, but like on a charcuterie board, and you cut them up like you would a boar's head smoked Gouda, it's almost the same experience. And that's our goal, is to create that parity where we've really got as close to as we can to a real cheese, because we know that people find joy in cheese. I mean, I know I enjoy it, even though it doesn't enjoy me all the time, and I want to eat better for the planet. So, yeah, listen, on the other hand, like our cream cheese, again, people, they don't know the difference when they eat it. And I'll have to tell you, it's a lot easier to do with blocks and cream cheese and spreads than it is with shreds and slices that have to melt on par with real cheese, because it's just a different game.
So let's just talk about there's a lot of competition in this space too.
Yeah, a ton.
And, as an entrepreneur in this space, I don't look at competition as bad. I don't know how you view the competition.
No.
I think it's probably a good thing. It challenges people to be more innovative, really be more transparent.
Yeah.
And really create the best product out there.
Well, it brings more awareness to the category too.
Right. So, how did that influence you, and how have you really worked? How does that influence your new products as you build them out, and what the line that you have now?
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, number one, we've upped our game. I can't tell you how many times over the past 4 years, probably 10 to 15, where we've found better ingredients, or we've dialed in better on the process, so we can really find that matchability for a better malt melt or a browning, and a stretch. But the competition is good. A lot of them are nut or soy based. Some have come into our allergen-free category with longer ingredient decks. We have a very short ingredient deck. We are allergen-free, we're non-GMO, we check a lot of the boxes. And I get along with a lot of our competitors. I mean, we all share, stories and how we can do better and what we want to do for the category. But there has some that come along that are from larger companies that just want to be in the space, and they haven't helped us. Because they've just rushed to market to have a plant-based cheese because they know they have to be there, and they get on shelf because they have a relationship or they already have distribution, and the consumer buys it and they try plant-based and they go, it's not so good. I mean, it doesn't melt, or it tastes not so great, or it sticks to the roof of your mouth, or whatever it may be, right? And I think that's the disappointing side, where if everybody was really coming in trying to do their best, which most of the younger companies are. I think the bigger companies just, like I said, just wanted something on the shelf and figured, hey, this works. It has created a hurdle for us because it taints the consumer and it taints the buyers. And we're out here doing a great job, but they say, oh well, we'll put this one on. It's $1 less. We already have their products in distribution. It's really easy, and it's bad for everybody at the end of the day. So I think now we're going back to where the buyers are saying we got to offer the consumers a great product. They're willing to pay a little more for a great product, and we have to get back in those consumers' mouths that had a bad experience and let them know there are great products out here.
So what do you do with that? How do you get into those consumers' mouths to change their conception?
To get them to try it again? I mean, trying it again is tougher than it is trying it the first time, right? Because
you get one opportunity, and if you screw it up, it's really hard.
They're intrigued the first time, and they're willing to give it a shot. But I mean, if you bite into something and you just can't stand it, I mean, game over, right? And unfortunately, with a new fast-growing category, a lot of consumers that are kind of they're teetering on why they should make this choice, just say, forget about it. It doesn't work for me. So yeah, I think now it's a marketing promotional thing, getting people sampling, getting people to try it, and kind of hooking them a little bit, so we have to get them to come back to the table. I think where we are, we're growing. But with
COVID, has COVID made it more challenging to do that sampling now? So what are can you give me like 3 examples of what you're doing to try to connect with that market after or that consumer after they've had a bad experience, to try to bring them back in?
Yeah, it's us, what we're doing in social media, showing them the responses we have. It's getting pictures so they can see it melt and stretch and understand that hey, you know what, these people really are trying, and then it's promotions. Today we can do sampling again. I mean,
that's great.
Yeah, COVID was really weird. Well, for everybody, forget that. I mean, if COVID didn't hit, we would be probably 3 times where we are in sales, but we still grew rapidly. But a lot of stores didn't bring any new products in because they couldn't keep the products they had on the shelves that they needed, right? So they weren't allocating new shelf space to new products. So where we grew like wildfire, and things were fantastic. But I think now we're all rebounding. We're getting back into the consumers' mouths, and we can go and sample and taste. And I think that's really what the people that have been, I guess, tainted. That's what they need. They need to taste it, hear you, see it, and you got to offer them a deal. They got to say, okay, I'll take a risk here.
And so, what's new and what's next for GoodPLANeT Foods in the coming days, in the coming years?
Well, we just, we launched our Laughing Cow wedges. We revamped our entire line earlier this year, so the meltability and the taste is really remarkable. We polished up our mozzarella to really focus on pizza melt, and it's fabulous. we launched now these smoked wheels that they go through the same smoke process that boar's head does. It's real. It's real as you can get being plant-based, and it's amazing. And we're going to be launching some extremely new innovative products next quarter and then the first quarter of next year that I think are really going to take this to another level. I mean, we're always focused on on creating something higher quality, better performing, and like I said, creating a parity to real cheese is as close as we could get. I mean, it's not real cheese. We don't have dairy, but we want to make this experience and give people the choice.
As you said, it's better than cheese.
It is better than cheese. It's health. Look, it's a third the calories. It's a third the fat. It's healthier for you.
So, David, can you share with us what you're going to be launching in the next quarter?
Yeah, well, next quarter we're launching the snack packs. So there'll be our cheese cubes with almonds and cranberries, or a smoked provolone with pistachios and cranberries, I believe. And those are launching November. So this is going into several stores, already sold in. We're just rushing to launch.
That's exciting. So a couple things. Is that your first product that's not allergen free?
It is our first product that's not allergen free. I mean, that was really, we wanted to stay allergen free for everything we did, but you know what? Again, we want to offer things to everybody. We still have a great core and a ton of allergen-free products, and we'll continue to develop and launch those. But
it also expands your audience, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's amazing that the demand we were being requested to create products like this from some major retailers. And again, it was weird. We had that conversation like, well, look, we can offer this to other people. We don't have to be strictly allergen-free, period. I mean, like I said, we have a ton of products we offer that are completely allergen-free. Now we can offer to appeal to other folks as well.
Great. So within this space, I mean, the space is growing. I'm curious, what do you see for the entire space? If you're looking from a global perspective, where do you see this space going in the next 3 to 5 years? Not just for GoodPLANeT Foods, but for the entire space itself.
For plant-based cheese or for plant-based foods?
Let's go with plant-based cheese or plant-based foods. Just plant-based.
Well, look, I see a lot of innovation coming, and I see a lot of investment into R&D to create better products. So right now we have a lot of meat products, plant-based meat products out there that they're not really better for you at the end of the day. I mean, yes, they're better for the planet, but the ingredient decks some of them are pretty challenging. And I see a lot of things coming where cheese, meats, they're going to get cleaned up. So they're going to replicate where it is a better for you product at the end of the day, not just for our planet. So look, we've been plant-based. That was our mantra for the past 4 years. My mantra is now planet-friendly. Again, we can offer allergen-free. We can offer products that have nuts. We can create products that are done without the cow. So we're basically creating real cheese without the cow, and that's planet-friendly. And I think we can have those types of offerings in the future. So again, people can make these choices for whatever drives them, but we're about sustainability, we're about the climate, we're about the planet, and I think this is very important.
There's always a driving factor for everyone.
Yep.
And what is your driving factor? What is the impact you hope to see by creating this better for you food business?
Yeah.
You're doing this. Are you doing it for your kids? Are you hoping to reverse climate change? What is the impact that you hope to see?
Yeah, well, I want to slow climate change. I don't think we're going to reverse it. I want to slow it.
Yeah.
I want to make it better. And I want our world to be better for, yes, my kids, but for everybody. I'm not about David, and I really care about my community, and I care about our world, and I care about our planet. And like I said, I don't know if I did say this, when I was looking at vegan cheese, sure, I saw that I could probably do a lot better job. It was so terrible. It seemed easy. But the driving force to me was when I heard about or I read about the impact of dairy on our ozone layer. And I didn't realize that it was worse than fossil fuels. You could have told me that, I would have said you're full of baloney, right? And when I learned that, it really triggered something. And it gave me something to be passionate about. And again, I don't think there's no light switch here, but we do have to make changes. And I think if I can create products that give people the ability to make those changes, balance, to do better for the planet, to do better for themselves, then I've accomplished what I've wanted to accomplish. I mean,
awesome. So if everybody has a choice and everybody can make a little bit, make a little bit of an impact, together we can make a much greater impact.
Exactly.
And and you're giving people that choice, and you're inspiring other entrepreneurs to innovate, and you're sharing your story on why and how you've done it. And I want to thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, you're great. I was so happy to be here, and it's nice to meet you.
And David, I'm just curious, for the listeners that joined us today, for the people that watch the video cast, if they wanted to buy GoodPLANeT Foods, or where would they go find this?
Wow. Well, we're in all Sprout stores. We're in a lot of Safeway Albertsons. We're in Costco in Northern California. We're in Wegmans. We're in Giant. We're in a lot, the Central Market in the down. We're in a lot. I could go on forever. Jewel Osco and
Awesome. I think they get the point.
Okay. Or they can go to GoodPLANeTFoods.com.
But you know what? We'll add some links so that they can check out your website.
Yeah, that'll tell them where to go.
It will be in the show notes. So I want to thank you, David, for joining me. I want to thank our guests for tuning in. And we're here every Tuesday. And if you watch the video, don't forget to rate and review and let us know what you thought, and check out the cheese and shoot us a note. So again, thank you all for joining us today here on Essential Ingredients. To learn more about these episodes and access show notes, go to nextgenpurpose.com and choose podcast. If you like this episode, head to Apple Podcasts or your favorite platform to subscribe and leave us a review. Visit the Next Gen Purpose YouTube channel to subscribe to our EI videocast and give this episode a like while you're there. Follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn at Next Gen Purpose, and connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Justine_Reichman. Thanks for joining us.